I've been to the zoo. I said, I've been to the zoo. Mister, I've been to the zoo.
Huh? What? I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
I went to the zoo and then I walked until I came here. Have I been walking north?
North? Why? I think so. Let me see.
Is that Fifth Avenue?
Why, yeah. Yes, it is.
And what is that cross street there? That one to the right.
That? Oh, that's 74th Street.
And the zoo is around 6th Street. So I've been walking north.
Yes, it will seem so.
Good old north, but not too north.
Well, no, not due north, but we call it north. It's northerly.
Well, boy, you are not going to get lung cancer, are you?
No, sir, not from this.
No, sir. What you'll probably get is cancer of the mouth, and then you will have to wear one of those things. Freud wore after they took one whole side of his jaw away. What do they call those things?
A prosthesis?
The very thing, a prosthesis. You are an educated man, aren't you? Are you a doctor?
Oh, no. I read about it somewhere. Time magazine, I think.
Well, Time magazine is not for blockheads.
No, I suppose not.
Boy, I'm glad there's Fifth Avenue there.
Yes.
I don't like the west side of the park much.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Oh,
Do you mind if we talk?
why? No.
Yes, you do. You do.
No, I don't mind.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't mind at all. Really?
It's a nice day.
Yes, it is. Lovely.
I've been to the zoo.
Yes, I think you said so, didn't you?
You will read about it in the papers tomorrow. If you don't see it you're on your TV tonight, you have TV, haven't you?
Why, yes, we have two. One for the children.
You are married.
Why, certainly.
It isn't allowed, for God's sake.
No, of course not.
And you have a wife.
Yes,
And you have children.
yes, two.
Boys.
No, girls. Both girls.
But you want boys.
Well, naturally, every man wants a son, but
But that's why the cookie crumbles.
I wasn't going to say that.
And you are not going to have any more kids, are you?
No, no more. Why did you say that? How would you know about that?
The way you cross your legs. Perhaps something in the voice. Or maybe I'm just guessing. Is it your wife?
That's none of your business. Do you understand? Well, you are right. We'll have no more children.
That is the way the cookie crumbles.
Yes, I guess so.
Well, now, what else?
What were you saying about the zoo? Did I read about it or see?
I will tell you about it soon. Do you mind if I ask you questions?
Oh, not really.
I will tell you why I do it. I don't talk to many people. I expect to say like, give me a beer, or where's the John, or what time does to the feature go on, or keep your hands to yourself, buddy. You know, things like that.
I must say, I don't.
But every once in a while, I like to talk to somebody. Really talk. Like to get to know somebody, know all about him.
And am I the guinea pig for today?
On a sun-drenched Sunday afternoon like this, who better than a nice married man with two daughters and a dog? No, two dogs. No dogs? Oh, that's a shame. But you look like an animal man. Cats? Cats! But that can be your idea. No, sir, you're ref and doctors. Is there anything else I sold now?
there are there are two parakeets, one for each of my doctors.
Birds!
My doctors keep them in a cage in their bedroom.
Do they carry disease? The birds?
I don't believe so.
That's too bad. If they did, you could set them loose in the house, and the cats could eat them and die. Maybe. And what else? What do you do to support your animal's household?
I uh I have an executive position with a small publishing house. We publish textbooks.
That sounds nice. Very nice. What do you make?
Now look here.
Oh, come on.
Well, I make around 18,000 a year, but don't carry more than $40 at any one time in case you are a hold up man.
Where do you live? Oh, look, I'm not going to rob you, and I'm not going to kidnap your parakeets, your cats, or your doctors.
I live between Lexington and 3rd Avenue on 74th Street.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
I didn't mean to seem. Ah, it's that you don't really carry on a conversation. You just ask questions, and I'm normally reticent. Why do you just stand there?
I will start walking around in a little while, and eventually I will sit down. Wait until you see the expression on his face.
What? Whose face? Look here. Is this something about the zoo?
The what?
The zoo. The zoo. Something about the zoo.
The zoo?
You've mentioned it several times.
The zoo? Oh, yes, the zoo. I was there before I came here. I told you that. Say, what's the defining line between upper middle class and lower upper middle class?
My dear fellow,
Don't, my dear fellow me.
was I patronizing? I believe I was. I'm sorry. But you see, your question about the classes bewildered me.
And when you are bewildered, you become patronizing.
I I don't express myself too well sometimes. I'm in publishing, not writing.
So be it. The truth is, I was being patronizing.
Oh, now, you needn't say that.
All right. Who are your favorite writers? Baudelaire and J.P. Marquand?
Well, I like a great many writers. I have a considerable catholicity of taste, if I may say so. Those two men are fine, each in his way. Baudelaire, of course, is by far the finer of the two, but Marquand has a place in our um, national.
Skip it.
I sorry.
Do you know what I did before I went to the zoo today? I walked all the way up Fifth Avenue from Washington Square. All the way.
Oh, you live in a village.
No, I don't. I took the subway down to the village so I could walk all the way up Fifth Avenue to the zoo. It's one of those things a person has to do. Sometimes a person has to go a very long distance out of his way to come back a short distance correctly.
Oh, I thought you live in a village.
What were you trying to do? Make sense out of things? Bring order? The old pigeonhole bit? Well, that's easy, I'll tell you. I live in a four-story brownstone rooming house on the Upper West Side between Columbus Avenue and Central Park West. I live on the top floor. Rear West is a lovely small room, and one of my walls is made of beaverboard. This beaverboard separates my room from another lovely small room, so I assume that the two rooms were once one room. A small room, but not necessarily lovable. The room beyond my beaverboard wall is occupied by a colored queen who always keeps his door open. Well, not always, but always when he's plucking his eyebrows, which he does with Buddhist concentration. This colored queen has rotten teeth, which is rare, and he has a Japanese kimono, which is also pretty rare, and he wears this kimono to and from the John in the hall, which is pretty fragrant. I mean, he goes to the John a lot. He never bothers me and never brings anyone up to his room. All he does is pluck his eyebrows, wear his kimono, and go to the John. Now, the two front rooms on my floor are a little larger, I guess, but they are pretty small too. There's a Puerto Rican family in one of them, a husband, a wife, and some kids. I don't know how many. These people entertain a lot, and in the other front room, there's somebody living there, but I don't know who it is. I've never seen who it is. Never, never ever.
Why? Why do you live there?
I don't know.
It doesn't sound a very nice place where you live.
Well, no, it isn't an apartment in the 870s. But then again, I don't have one wife, two doctors, two cats, and two parakeets. But I have toilet articles, a few clothes, a hot plate that I'm not supposed to have, a can opener, one that works with a key. You know, a knife, two forks, and two spoons, one small, one large. Three plates, a cup, a saucer, a drinking glass, two picture frames, but empty, eight or nine books, a pack of pornographic playing cards, regular deck, an old Western Union typewriter that prints nothing but capital letters, and a small strong box with a lock which has in it what? Rocks! Some rocks. 300 rocks I picked up on the beach when I was a kid, under which down are some letters. Please, letters. Please, why don't you do this? And please, when will you do that letters? And when letters do? When will you write? When will you come? When? These letters are from more recent years.
About those two empty picture frames?
I don't see why they need any explanation at all. Isn't it clear? I don't have pictures of anyone to put in them.
Your parents? Perhaps a girlfriend?
You're a very sweet man, and you possess of a truly inviolable innocence. But good old mom and good old pop are dead. You know, I'm broken up about it too. I mean, really. But that particular thoughtful act is playing the cloud's secret now, so I don't see how I can look at them, all neat and framed. Besides, or rather, to be pointed about it, good old man walked out on good old pop when I was 10 and a half years old. She embarked on an adulterous turn of our certain states, a journey of years' duration, and her most constant companion, among many others, was a Mr. Barleycorn. At least, that's what good old Pop told me after he went down. Come back, wrote her body note. We received the news between Christmas and New Year's. You see, the good old mom had parted with the goats in some dam in Alabama, and without the goats, she was less welcome. I mean, what was she? A thief, a northern thief. At any rate, good old Pop celebrated the New Year from an even 2 weeks and then slept into the front of a somewhat moving city omnibus, which sort of cleaned things out family-wise. Well, no. Then there was Mom's sister, who was given neither to sin nor the consolations of the bottle. I moved in on her, and my memory of her is slight, excepting I remember still that she did all things thoroughly. Sleeping, eating, working, praying. She dropped dead on the stairs to her apartment, my apartment then too, on the afternoon of my high school graduation. A terribly Middle European joke, if you ask me.
Oh my, oh my.
Oh, you're what? But that was a long time ago, and I have no feeling about any of it that I care to admit to myself. Perhaps you can see, though, why good old Mom and good old Pop are flameless. What's your name? Your first name?
I'm Peter.
I'd forgotten to ask you. I'm Jerry.
Hello, Jerry.
And let's see now. What's the point of having a girl's picture, especially in two frames? I have two picture frames, you remember. I never see the pretty little ladies more than once, and most of them wouldn't be caught in the same room with a camera. It's odd, and I wonder if it's sad.
The girls?
No, I wonder if it's sad that I never see the little ladies more than once. I've never been able to have sex with, or how is it put? Make love to anybody more than once. Once. That's it. Oh, wait. For a week and a half when I was 15 and I hang my head in shame that puberty was late. I was a HOMOSEXUAL. I mean, I was queer. Queer, queer, queer. With bells ringing, banners snapping in the wind. And for those 11 days, I met at least twice a day with the park superintendent's son, a Greek boy whose birthday was the same as mine, except he was a year older. I think I was very much in love, maybe just with sex. But that was the chest of a very special hotel, wasn't it? And now, oh, do I love the little ladies? Really, I love them for about an hour.
Well, it seems perfectly simple to me.
Look, are you going to tell me to get married and have parakeets?
Forget the parakeets and stay single if you want to. It's no business of mine. I didn't start this conversation anyway.
Alright, alright. I'm sorry. Alright? You're not angry?
No, I'm not angry.
Good. Interesting that you asked me about the picture frames. I would have thought that you would have asked me about the pornographic playing cards.
Oh, I've seen those cards.
That's not the point. I suppose when you were a kid, you and your pals passed them around, or you had a pack of your own.
Well, I guess a lot of us did.
And you threw them away just before you got married.
Oh no, look here. I didn't anything like that when I got older.
No?
I'd rather not talk about these things.
So? Don't. Besides, I wasn't trying to plumb your post adolescent sexual life and hard times. What I want to get at is The value difference between pornographic playing cards when you are a kid and pornographic playing cards when you're older is that when you were a kid, you used the cards as a substitute for a real experience, and where you were older, you used a real experience as a substitute for the fantasy. But I imagine you'd rather hear about what happened at the zoo.
Oh, yes, the zoo. That is, if you.
Let me tell you about why I went. Well, let me tell you some things. I've told you about the fourth floor of the rooming house where I live. I think the rooms are better as you go down, floor by floor. I guess they are. I don't know. I don't know any of the people on the third and second floors. Oh, wait. I do know that there's a lady living on the third floor, in the front. I know because she cries all the time, whenever I go out or come back in. Whenever I pass her door, I always hear her crying, muffled, but very determined. Very determined indeed. But the one I'm getting to, and all about the dog, is the landlady. I don't like to use words that are too harsh in describing people. I don't like to. But the landlady is the fat, ugly, mean, stupid, unwashed, misanthropic, cheap, drunken bag of garbage. And you may have noticed that I very seldom use profanity, so I can't describe her as well as I might.
You describe her vividly.
Well, thanks. Anyway, she has a dog, and I will tell you about the dog. And she and her dog are the gatekeepers of my dwelling. The woman is bad enough. She lands around in the entrance hall, spying to see that I don't bring in things or people. And when she's had her mid-afternoon pint of lemon-flavored gin, she always stops me in the hall and grabs a hold of my coat or my arm, and she presses her disgusting body up against me to keep me in the corner so she can talk with me. The smell of her body and her breath, you can't imagine it. And somewhere in the back of that pea-sized brain of hers, an organ developed just enough to let her eat, drink, and emit. She has some full parody of sexual desire, and Peter, I'm the object of her sweaty lust.
That's disgusting. That's horrible.
But I have found a way to keep her off. When she talks to me, when she presses herself to my body and mumbles about her room and how I should come there, I merrily say, "But, love, wasn't yesterday enough for you and the day before?" Then she puzzles. She makes slits of her teeny eyes, she sways a little, and then, "Peter," and it is at this moment that I think I might be doing some good in that tormented house. A simple-minded smile begins to form on her unthinkable face, and she chuckles and growls as she thinks about yesterday and the day before, as she believes and relieves what never happened. Then she motions to that black monster of a dog she has, and she goes back to her room, and I'm safe until our next meeting.
It's so unthinkable. I find it hard to believe that people such as that really are.
It's for reading about, isn't it?
Yes.
And fact is better left to fiction. You were right, Peter. Well, what I have been meaning to tell you about is the dog. I shall know.
Oh, yes, the dog.
Don't go. You're not thinking of going, are you?
Well, no, I don't think so.
Because after I'll tell you about the dog, do you know what then? Then, then I'll tell you about what happened at the zoo.
You are you are full of stories, aren't you?
You don't have to listen. Nobody is holding you here. Remember that. Keep that in your mind.
I know that.
You do? Good. Alright. The story of Jerry and the dog. What I'm going to tell you has something to do with how sometimes it's necessary to go a long distance out of the way in order to come back a short distance correctly. Or maybe I only think that it has something to do with that. But it's why I went to the zoo today, and why I walked northly, rather, until I came here. Alright, the dog, I think I told you, is a black monster of a beast, an oversized head, teeny, teeny ears, and eyes, bloodshot, infected, maybe, and a body you can see the ribs through the skin. The dog is black, all black, all black except for the bloodshot eyes, and yes, an unopened sore on its right forepaw. That is right too. And oh yes, the poor monster. And I do believe it's an old dog. It's certainly a Mrs. One. Almost always has an erection of sorts. That's right too. And what else? Oh yes, there's a gray, yellow, white color too. When he bars his fangs like this, "Rrr," which is what he did when he saw me for the first time, the day I moved in. I worried about the animal the very first minute I met him. No, animals don't take to me like San Francis had birds hanging off him all the time. What I mean is, animals are indifferent to me, like people, most of the time. But this dog wasn't indifferent. From the very beginning he'd snarl and then go for me to get one of my legs. Not like he was rabid, you know. He was sort of stumbly dog, but he wasn't half a seat either. It was a good, stumbly run, but I always got away. He got a piece of my trouser leg. Look, you can see right here where it's mended. He got that the second day I left there, but I kicked it free and cut off their face. So that was that. I still don't know to this day how the other roomers manage it. But you know what I think? I think it had to do only with me. Cozy. So anyway, this went on for over a week. Whenever I came in, but never when I went out. That's funny. Or it was funny. I could pick up and live in the streets for all the dog cared. Well, I thought about it up in my room one day. One of the times after I pulled it upstairs and I made up my mind, I decide, first, I'll kill the dog with kindness, and if doesn't work, I'll just kill him. Don't react, Peter. Just listen. So the next day I went out and bought a bag of hamburger, medium rare, no ketchup, no onion, and on the way home I threw away all the rolls and kept just the meat. When I got back to the rooming house, the dog was waiting for me. I half opened the door that led into the entrance hall, and there he was, waiting for me. It figures. I went in, very courteously, and I had the hamburgers. You remember? I opened the bag, and I set the meat down about 12 feet from where the dog was snarling at me. Like so. He snarled, stopped snarling, sniffed, moved slowly, then faster toward the meat. Well, when he got to eat, He stopped, and he looked at me. I smiled, but tentatively, you understand. He turned his face back to the hamburgers, smelled, sniffed some more, and then, rah, like that, he tore into them. It was as if he had never eaten anything in his life before, except like garbage, which might very well have been the truth. I don't think the landlady ever eats anything but garbage, but he ate all the hamburgers, almost all at once, making sound in his throat like a woman. Then, when he finished the meat, the hamburger, and tried to eat the pepper too, he sat down and smiled. I think he smiled. I know cats do. It was a very gratifying few moments. Then, bam! He snarled and made for me again. He didn't get me this time, either. So, I got upstairs, and I lay down on my bed and started to think about the dog again. To be truthful, I was offended and was damn mad too. It was six perfectly good hamburgers with not enough pork in them to make it disgusting. I was offended, but after a while I decided to try it for a few more days. If you think about it, this dog had what amounted to an antipathy towards me. Really? And I wondered if I might overcome this antipathy. So I tried it for a few more 5 days, but it was always the same. Snarl, sniff, move, faster, star, gobble, smile, snarl, bah. Well, no, by this time Columbia's Avenue was strewn with hamburger rolls and I was less offended than disgusted. So I decided to kill the dog. Oh, don't be so alarmed, Peter. I didn't succeed. The day I tried to kill the dog, I bought only one hamburger and what I thought was a murderous portion of rat poison. When I bought the hamburger, I asked the man not to bother with the roll. All I wanted was the meat. I expected some reaction from him, like, we don't sell no hamburger without rolls, or would it wanna do, eat it out at your house? No, he smiled benignly, wrapped up the hamburger in wax paper, and said, a bait for your pussycat? I wanted to say, no, not really. It's part of a plan to poison a dog I know. But you can say a dog I know without sounding funny. So I said a little too loud, I'm afraid, and too formally. Yes, a bait for my pussycat. People look up. It always happens when I try to simply things. People look up. But there's neither hither nor thither. So, on my way back to the rooming house, I needed the hamburger and the rat poison together, between my hands. At the point feeling as much as sadness as disgust, I opened the door to the entrance hall, and there the monster was, waiting to take the offering and then jumping. Poor bastard! He never learned that the moment he took two smile before he went for me gave me time enough to get off of range. But there he was, malfeasance with an erection, waiting. I put the poison patty down, moved toward the stair and watched. The poor animal gobbled the food down as usual, smiled, which made me almost sick, and then bam! But I sprinted up the stair, as usual, and the dog didn't get me, as usual. And it come to pass that the beast was deadly ill. I knew this because he no longer attended me, and because the landlady sobered up. She stopped me in the hall some evening of the attempted murder and confided in the information that God had struck her puppy dog a surely fatal blow. She had forgotten her beloved loss, and her eyes were wide open for the first time. They looked like the dog eyes. She sniffled and implored me to pray for the animal. I wanted to say here, Madam, I have myself to pray for, the colored queen, the Puerto Rican family, the person in the front room whom I've never seen, the woman who cries deliberately behind her closed door, and the rest of people in all rooming houses, everywhere. Besides, Madam, I don't understand how to pray, but to simply thanks, I told her I would pray. She looked up. She said that I was a liar, and that I probably wanted the dog to die. I told her, and there was so much truth there, that I didn't want the dog to die. I didn't, and not just because I poisoned him. I'm afraid that I must tell you I wanted the dog to live so that I could see what our new relationship may come to. Please understand, Peter. That sort of thing is important. You must believe me. It is important. We have to know the effect of our action. Well, anyway, the dog recovered. I have no idea why, unless he was a descendant of the puppy that guarded the gates of hell or some such research. I'm not up my mythology. Are you? At any rate, and you've missed the $8,000 question, Peter. At any rate, the dog recovered his health and the landlady recovered her thirst, in no way altered by the wow's deliverance. When I came home from a movie that was playing on 42nd Street, a movie I'd seen, see, or one that was very much like on or several I'd seen. After the landlady told me Papikins was better, I was so hoping for the dog to be waiting for me. I was, well, how would you put it? Enticed? Fascinated? No, I don't think so. Hurt shatteringly anxious? That's it. I was hurt shatteringly anxious to confront my friend again. Yes, Peter, friends. That's the only word for it. I was hurt shatteringly, etc. to confront my doggy friend again. I came in the door and advanced, unafraid, to the center of the entrance hall. The beast was there, looking at me. And he looked better for his crib with that never mind. I stopped. I looked at him. He looked at me. I think we stayed a long time that way. Still, stone statue, just looking at one another. I looked more into his face than he looked into mine. I mean, I can concentrate longer at looking into a dog's face than a dog can concentrate at looking into mine, or into anybody else's face, for that matter. But during that 20 seconds or 2 hours that we looked into each other's face, we made contact. No, here's what I had wanted to happen. I love the dog now. and wanted him to love me. I had tried to love, and I had tried to kill, and both had been unsuccessful by themselves. I hoped, and I don't really know why I expected the dog to understand anything, much less my motivation. I hoped that the dog would understand. It's just, it's just that, it's just that if you can't deal with people, you have to make a start somewhere. With animals, don't you see? A person have to some way of dealing with something. If not with people, something. With a bat, with a cockroach, with a mirror. No, that's too hard. That's one of the last step. With a cockroach, with a carpet, with a roll of toilet paper. No, not that either. That's mirror too. Always check bleeding. You see how hard it is to find things. With a straight corner and too many lights, all color reflecting on the only wet street. With a whiffs of smoke, with pornographic playing right, with a strong box, without load, with love, with funding, with crying, with fury, because the pretty little ladies are pretty little ladies, with making money with your body, which is an act of love, and I could prove it, with howling because you're alive, with God. How about that? With God, who is a colored queen, who wears a kimono and plucks his eyebrows, who is a woman who cries with determination behind her closed door. With God who, I'm told, turned his back on the whole thing some time ago with someday with people. People with an idea, a concept, and wherever better in this humiliating excuse for a child. Where better to communicate one simple-minded idea than in an entresol, where it will be a start, were better to make a beginning, to understand and just possibly be understood, a beginning of an understanding, than with a dog. Just that. A dog. A dog. It seemed like a perfectly sensible idea. Man is a dog's best friend, remember? So, the dog and I looked at each other. I longer than the dog, and what I saw then has been the same ever since. Whenever the dog and I see each other, we both stop where we are, where we regret each other with a mixture of sadness and suspicion, and then we feign indifference. We walk past each other safely. We have an understanding. It's very sad, but you have to admit that it is an understanding. We had made many attempts at contact, and we had failed. The dog has returned to garbage, and I to solitary but free passage. I have not returned. I mean to say, I have gained a solitary free passage. If that much further loss can be said to be gained, I have learned that neither kindness nor cruelty by themselves, independent of each other, creates any effect beyond themselves. And I have learned that the two combined together at the same time are the teaching emotion. And what is gained is lost. And what has been the result? The dog and I have attained a compromise. More of bargain, really. We neither love nor hurt because we don't try to reach each other and was trying to feed the
To feed the dog an act of love. And perhaps was the dog's attempt to feed me not an act of love? If we can so misunderstand, well then, why have we invented the
The
word
story of
love
Jerry
in
and the
the
dog,
first
the
place?
end. Well, Peter. Well, Peter, do you think I could sell that story to the reader Diggers and make a couple of $100 for the most unforgettable character I've ever met? Huh? Oh, come on now, Peter, tell me what you think.
I don't understand what. I don't think I. Why did you tell me all of this?
So why not?
I don't understand. No, no, it's not.
I tried to explain it to you as I went along. I went slowly. It all has to do with
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't understand you or your landlady or her dog.
her dog. And it was mine. No, oh, you're right. It is her dog. I don't know what I was thinking about. Of course, you don't. I don't live in your block. I'm not married to two kids or whatever you said, Apis. I'm a permanent transient, and my home is the sickening, rooming houses on the west side of the New York City, which is the greatest city in the world. Amen.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Forget it. I suppose you don't quite know what to make of me, eh?
We get all kinds in publishing.
You're a funny man. You know that? You're a very a richly comic person.
Oh, no, not really.
Peter, do I annoy you or confuse you?
Well, I must confess that this wasn't the kind of afternoon I anticipated.
You mean I'm not the gentleman you were expecting?
I wasn't expecting anybody.
No, I don't imagine you were. But I'm here and I'm not leaving.
Well, you may not be, but I must getting home soon.
Oh, come on. Stay well longer?
I really should got home. You see?
Oh, come on.
No, I. Oh, don't do that. Stop. Oh, no, no.
Oh, come on.
Oh, hey. I must go. I. After all, stop. After all, the package will be getting dinner ready soon. And the cats are setting the table. Stop, and and we're having. Oh,
Peter,
oh, what?
listen now.
Oh, what? What is it, Jerry? Oh my.
Peter, do you want to know what happened at the zoo?
That what? Oh, yes, the zoo. Oh, well, I had my own zoo there for a moment with the package get dinner ready and the whatever it was the.
Yes, that was very funny, Peter. I wouldn't have expected it. But do you want to hear about what happened at the zoo or not?
Yes, by all means. Tell me what happened at the zoo. Oh my, I don't know what happened to me.
No, I'll let you in on what happened at the zoo. But first, I should tell you why I went to the zoo. I went to the zoo to find out more about the way people exist with animals and the way animals exist with each other and with people too. It probably wasn't a fair test. What with everyone separated by bars from everyone else, the animals for the most part from each other, and always the people from the animals. But if it's a zoo, that's the way it is. Move over.
I'm sorry. Haven't you enough room?
Well, all the animals are there, and all the people are there, and it's Sunday, and all the children are there. Move over.
All right.
And it's a hot day, so all the stench is there too, and all the balloon sellers, and all the ice cream sellers, and all the seals are barking, and all the birds are screaming. Move over.
Look here. You have more than enough room.
And I am there. and it's feeding time at the lion house. And the lion keeper comes into the lion cage, one of the lion cages, to feed one of the lions. Move over.
I can't move over anymore. Stop hitting me. What's the matter with you?
Do you want to hear a story?
I'm not sure. I certainly don't want to be punched in the arm.
Like that?
Stop it. What's the matter with you?
I'm crazy, you bastard.
That isn't funny.
Listen to me, Peter. I want this bench. You go, sit on the bench over there. And if you're good, I'll tell you the rest of the story.
But whatever for, what is the matter with you? Besides, I see no reason why I should give up this bench. I sit on this bench almost every Sunday afternoon. In good weather. It's scheduled here. There's never anyone sitting here, so I have it all to myself.
Get off this bench, Peter. I want it.
No,
I said I want this bench and I'm going to have it. Now get over there.
people can have everything they want. You should know that. It's a rule. People can have some of things they want, but they can't have everything.
Imbecile. You're slow-witted.
Stop that.
You're a vegetable. Go lie down on the ground.
Now you listen to me. I've put up with you all afternoon.
Not really.
Long enough. I've put up with you long enough. I've listened to you because you seem, well, because I thought you wanted to talk to somebody.
You you put things well, economically, and yet, what is the word I want to put justice to your Jesus? You make me sick. Get up here and give me my bench.
My pants.
Get out of my sight.
God damn you. That's enough. I've had enough of you. I will not give up this pants. You can't have it. And that's that. Now go away. Go away, I said. Get away from here. If you don't move on, you're a bum. That's what you are. If you don't move on, I'll get a policeman here and make you go. I warn you. I call a policeman.
You won't find a policeman around here. They're all over the west side of the park chasing fairies down from trees or out of the bushes. That's all they do. That's their functions. So, scream your head off. It won't do you any good.
Police! I warn you, I'll have you arrested. Police! I say, police! I feel ridiculous.
You look ridiculous. A grown man screaming for the police on a bright Sunday afternoon in the park with nobody harming you. If a policeman did feel his quota and come slapping me over this way, he had probably take you in as a knot.
Great God, I just came here to read, and now you want me to give up the bench. You mad.
Hey, I got news for you, as they say. I'm on your precious beans, and you're never going to have it for yourself again.
Look, you! Get off my bench! I don't care if it makes any sense or not. I want this bench to myself. I want you off it.
Oh, look, was mad.
Get out!
No.
I want you.
Do you know how ridiculous you look now?
Doesn't matter. Get away from my bench.
Why? You have everything in the what you want. You have told me about your home and your family and your own little zoo. You have everything, and now you want these pens. Are these the thing men fight for? Tell me, Peter. Is this pins, this iron, and this wood? Is this your honor? Is this the things in the world you had fight for? Can you think of anything more absurd?
Absurd? Look, I'm not going to talk to you about Anna, or even try to explain to you. Besides, it isn't a question of honor. But even if it were, you wouldn't understand.
You don't even know what you're saying to you. This is probably the first time you have had anything more trying to face than changing your cat's toilet box. Stop it. Don't you have any idea, not even the slightest, what other people need?
Oh, boy, listen to you. Well, you don't need this bench, that's for sure.
Yes, I do.
I've come here for years. I have hours of great pleasure, great satisfaction, right here, and that's important to a man. I'm a responsible person, and I'm grown up. This is my bench, and you have no right to take it away from me.
Fight for it then. Defend yourself, defend your bench.
You push me to it. Get up and fight.
Like a man.
Yes, like a man. If you insist on whacking me even further.
I'll have to give you credit for one thing. You are a forgettable and slightly narrow-sighted one, I think.
That's enough.
But as they say on the television all the time, and I mean this, Peter, you have a certain technique. It surprised me.
Stop!
Very well, Peter. We'll have battle for the pins, but we are not even matched.
You are mad. You start rapping, man. You going to kill me?
There you go. Pick it up. You have the knife and we are more evenly matched.
No!
Now you pick up the knife and you fight with me. You fight for your self-respect. You fight for your common pinch.
No! Let go of me! Help!
You fight, you miserable bastard. Fight for that pinch. Fight for your parkas. Fight for your cats. Fight for your two doctors. Fight for your wife. Fight for your manhood. You pathetic little vegetable. You couldn't even catch your wife with a mallet.
It is a matter of genetic, not manhood. You, you monster! I'll give you one last chance. Get out of here and leave me alone.
So be it.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
Thank you, Peter. I mean that now. Thank you very much. Oh, Peter, I was so right. I had drive you away. You know how afraid I was you had go away and leave me. And now I will tell you what happened at the zoo. I think I think this is what happened at the zoo. I think I think that while I was at the zoo, I decided that I would work northerly rather until I found you or somebody, and I decided that I would talk to you. I will tell you things, and things that I will tell you would. Well, here we are. You see, here we are. But I don't know. Could, could I have planned all this? No, No, I couldn't have, but I think I did. And now, and now I have told you what you wanted to know, haven't I? And now you know all about what happened at the zoo. And now you know what you all see in your television. And the face I told you about. You remember the face I told you about? My face, the face you see right now, Peter. Peter, Peter, thank you. I come to you, and now and you have comforted me, dear Peter.
Oh my god!
You had better go now. Somebody might come by, and you don't want to be here when anyone comes.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You won't be coming back here anymore, Peter. You have been dispossessed. You have lost your pins, but you have defended your honor. And Peter, I will tell you something now. You are not really a vegetable. It's alright. You're an animal. You're an animal too. But you had better hurry now, Peter. Hurry. You had better go. See? Hurry, Peter. Peter. Wait. Wait. Peter. Take your book right here beside me on your bench. My bench, Peter. Come take your book. Hurry, Peter. Very good, Peter. Very good. Hurry away. Hurry away. You parkas are making the dinner. The cats are sitting the table.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.